What's going on, guys? It is Bernardo, and you just saw a quick unboxing on Lenovo's ThinkBook 15P Generation 2 laptop. All right, so what comes inside the box? We have our ThinkPad 15P Generation 2 setup guide. We have our safety information warranty guide right here. We have our power adapter, which is actually 135 watts, and our power cable. So I'm going to take the power cable and the power adapter. I'm going to hook it up. Awesome. And we're going to put all this stuff to the side. And then last but not least, we have our ThinkBook 15P Generation 2 laptop. Color is mineral gray, which is pretty awesome. Weighing around 4.2 pounds with a thickness of 0.80 inches. Now the ThinkBook 15P has a lot of ports and features. If you have the laptop facing you to the point that you're able to open it up like this, on the right hand side we have one SD card slot and then one 3.2 USB port. On the left hand side we have our combo audio jack, a Type-C connection, one 3.2 USB port, an HDMI, our RJ45 port, and our power port. All right, so we just went over some of the ports and features on Lenovo's ThinkBook 15P Generation 2 laptop. So let's open this guy up real slow, take a closer look at it. Beautiful. Look at that 15.6 Ultra HD display, which we are going to talk about it a little later. The power button is actually located on the upper right corner right here, and the fingerprint scanner is also integrated into the power button. So let's turn this guy on. Awesome. All right, so the ThinkBook 15P Generation 2 is already booted up. Like I said before, the fingerprint scanner is actually integrated into the power button. I'm going to use my finger to log in real quick. All right, so let's talk about the trackpad on the ThinkBook 15P Generation 2. Now, the measurement on the trackpad is around 4.15 inches. I did not have any issues using the trackpad at all. I did find myself using a USB the majority of the time when I was using a lot of my programs like Photoshop, Illustrator, and DaVinci and Premiere. I didn't have any issues when I was using it. Now for the keyboard on the ThinkBook, it is a full keyboard layout with the number pad on your right hand side. It does have backlit, which is pretty good. If you want to know the distance between the keys, it is around 0.12 inches. Now when I was using the keyboard, I kind of enjoyed it. The keys are really responsive, really quick. Overall, keyboard is great on the ThinkBook. Now for speakers, the speakers are actually located at the bottom right here on your left and your right hand side. When I test out the decibels, the loudness is around 85.9, which is not that bad for this particular machine. Now for the display, it is rocking a Ultra HD display, which is 15.6 IPS anti-glare display with a resolution of 3840 by 2160. Now the brightness level right now, I think this is the highest on brightness, and the lowest is this, and the highest is this. If you want to know about nits, is around 600 nits. The laptop does have Windows HDR enabled. I do recommend plugging in the power adapter. If you don't have enough juice, the option to turn on the HDR won't be available, so make sure you have the power hooked up. Now for the display scaling, I think the default is around 250%. I think the best scaling for this particular laptop is between 200 to 225, but again, it's all up to you. At the very top of the display, we have a full HD, which is 1080p webcam with a privacy guard. I did notice that the privacy guard was really smooth opening it and closing it up. Sometimes with these privacy guards, it's really, you gotta really dig in there. But for this particular model, this ThinkBook right here is pretty smooth. On your right and left hand side of the webcam, you will get your dual mics, which works well when you're doing Zoom or team meetings, which was a plus. All right, so we just went over the trackpad, keyboard, and the display on the ThinkBook 15P Generation 2 laptop from Lenovo. So let's go over some of the specifications. So I'm going to hold down the control key, shift, and click on escape to bring up the task manager. Let's click on performance. Let's maximize this window. I'm going to right click on the CPU, change graph to logical processor. Now this machine is running a 11th gen Intel Core i7 11800H processor with a clock speed of 2.30 gigahertz. One socket, 8 cores, 16 logical processor. This guy is a beast. Now for memory, Lenovo sent me the one with 16 gigs, but I think if you're purchasing it at the Lenovo site, the max that you could get it configured is around 32 gigs. Now for hard drive space, it comes with an NVMe solid state drive. This one is around 500 gigs. For graphics, you have two graphics. You have your Intel Ultra HD graphics and your NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 graphics card. Now with these specifications, the machine works really well. I was able to do a lot of video editing, Photoshop. I was even able to play gaming with the graphics card that this guy has. Again, it has an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 graphics card. So I was definitely able to play some Black Ops. I wasn't the best with my Black Ops gaming, but I was able to play with no problem. Now for heating, I did notice a lot of heating around this area right here between 90 to 110 degrees. It does have a vent right between the display and the keyboard, which sucks because all that heat kind of hits the display. And at the bottom, you do have some vents. Overall, with the specifications on this machine, I was really satisfied doing multiple apps, having them open at the same time, like Photoshop, Media Encoder, Adobe Premiere. I was able to work with all those programs with any hesitation on the machine. I didn't have any slowdowns. All right, so we just went over some of the specifications on this laptop. So let's close up the task manager real quick and let's talk about the battery. Now, I like to run PC Mark 10 on all my laptops, and I like to run at least 4 or 3 tests. The first test is normally the modern office battery life, and I actually got around 4 hours and 42 minutes. And the second test is video. So it just plays video and audio actually, until it runs out of battery. And it lasts around 5 hours and 9 minutes. And then last but not least, because it has that GTX graphics card, I definitely did some gaming without it plugged up. And it lasts about 1 hour and 21 minutes. I do recommend plugging in this guy up if you are going to game with like Black Ops and stuff. You will lose some performance, so make sure you plug it up. All right, so let's conclude our review on the ThinkBook 15P Generation 2 laptop from Lenovo. Overall, great laptop. I feel like this laptop is definitely a plus for traveling, work stuff, and school stuff. Now the retail price for this guy starts around $1,600. The price tag does go up depending on what you want. Now this one is the Ultra HD model and you're able to get the full HD. I would say go for the Ultra HD because it's really nice when you're viewing videos or watching content within YouTube or within Hulu or Netflix. Great display, great color, especially if you take advantage of the Windows HDR feature on this machine. Now for external monitors, you are able to hook up an HDMI monitor to it to have dual display. I didn't do that on this laptop, but the option is there. I really enjoy using this laptop with all my programs. With the particular specifications this machine had, I didn't have any issues at all, which is awesome. I would definitely bump up and max out the memory and then also max out the hard drive space. I think the way that you could get it within the Lenovo site, the max is around 1 terabyte NVMe solid state drive, and for the memory, 32 gigs. Why not? Spend a little bit more money and it will last a little longer. Overall, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and I catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.